If you have been praying and asking God to make a move in your life and then you feel called to just like let everything go, have faith. What is up, y'all? It's your girl Jaleesa back again with another video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've been seeing people on social media speak about going into the isolation season, being kind of turned off from social media, turned off from friends and family. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is my time to shine. I can help y'all. And I always ask God to give me a message that can help the collective, because I love to be able to give you guys that extra inch of validation to let you know that you're not alone in this journey. In my isolation period, I remember at the very beginning, things just started to fall to the wayside. The moment that I felt the call for isolation, like your body will start to show and tell you signs that the things around you is not necessarily in alignment with yourself. And whether you're spiritual or not, you'll feel that like uncomfortableness, which is one of the first signs that your spirit is calling you for isolation, because the call is coming from inside the house, baby. If this is the temple, it's coming from in here. Your mind probably can't wrap around it, your body probably can't wrap around it, but your spirit is telling you, I don't want to do this. Your spirit is saying, listen, something is not the way that I want it to be. So I wanted to share this video about isolation, the isolation season, and why it's so important and integral to growth. Your isolation season is pretty much your spirit calling you to be alone. Your spirit is calling you to detach from the outside things that it's currently engaging in, whether that be friends, family, job, addictions, a way of life, a certain place or environment that you're living in. Your spirit is going to give you this sense of uneasiness. It's calling you back in. A lot of times when people get thrown into their isolation season, it is because there's a disconnect between them and themselves, them and God. I like to say that it's God calling you, like God calling you to really pour into your relationship. 9 times out of 10, if you're called into isolation, it's because you prayed for elevation. You prayed for something to change in your life. You prayed for God to order your steps. You prayed for God to put you on a path or give you your purpose or something like that. And then after that, you got called into isolation. That is your preparation season. Isolation and preparation, elevation, all of the Asians, they gonna come together for your highest good. All right. Some signs that you can tell that your spirit is calling for isolation is you will feel lost, confused, depressed, disconnected. You'll have like a lack of focus in your life. You probably don't necessarily have an idea what your purpose is. You've had a string of bad luck. Your outlook in life is very pessimistic and you kind of just feel like depleted, empty almost. These are just some signs that your body is saying that something needs to change. I was chronically looking for other people to choose me and looking for other people to love me and give my life purpose and give my life meaning, instead of really just leaning into God and asking God, what is my life purpose? What is my meaning? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? It kind of just seemed like I never had a space or a place in the world. So I chronically would abandon myself and create this persona to allow people to accept me into their spaces and their places. I was always leaving myself behind for other people. And then I would just wake up and realize that I'm not living a life that I want to live. The choices that I had made up until this point was for someone else. And that's why I couldn't find happiness in my life. That's why I couldn't find satisfaction, is because I had been living for other people, and my relationship with God was also definitely on the rocks. And that's one of the things that isolation will give you. It will give you a chance to learn yourself, to unlearn who you have been for other people, and to now finally learn who you need to be for you. Isolation will give you a chance to grow, deepen a relationship with God, to be still and really identify and define your purpose. God would not be pulling you into isolation if there was not something that you need to be prepared for. So if you're feeling at this point in your life, like maybe I shouldn't be hanging out with these friends, I shouldn't be going to this place, I don't really think that I should be smoking no more, drinking no more, or sleeping with all of these people. I don't really feel like I need to be working at this job. I feel like I need to make a different choice or a different decision. It's time for you to elevate. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to learn who it is that you really are by learning who God is to you. At the root of it, God wants your attention. And there's no other reason that God will want your attention if not to reroute you, to place you on the path that you need to be on. Because I think a lot of us get very comfortable with believing that we have certain control over your life. But if you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, you realize that you are co-creating with source. You are called into isolation. It's a chance for you and God to like go into a meeting. Like, got time at 3 p.m. on Wednesday type. But God is like, I know you got just a little bit of time for me after work or before work or before school. I'm gonna take you for a year. And isolation don't always have to be a year. Sometimes it's a couple month, a month, whatever, however long God sees fit. But God is gonna make you make time. Oh, you don't have time for God because you got a job? All right, cool. I'm gonna take the job. Oh, you don't have time for God because you're in a relationship? All right, cool. Let me mess up this relationship. See that you're really interested in pouring into your friendships instead of pouring into your relationship with God. All right, cool. I'm gonna show you how them people was never for you to begin with. Shall we begin? Because it's very hard to hear over the friendships, over the relationships, over the job. That stuff takes a lot of your energy. And so when you're in isolation, you're almost able to hear God clearly. Okay, this is where you've been, but this is where I want you to go. And this is how I'm going to get you there. But I need you to unlearn this, and I need you to relearn that, and I need you to get closer to me. Like all of this, you can't run away from it because it's in that alone time with you and God that you get like your marching orders to move forward towards a life that you probably be praying for. I always say that God knows your heart. Yes, God knows your heart, which is why you're being called into isolation, because God knows that you want more. You can act like you good with how your life is. You can act like you good with these less than desirable relationships. You can act like you're okay with going to a job that you hate every day. You can act all you want, but God knows your heart. And it's through your prayers that God is like, all right, they've been suffering enough. They've been on this path enough. I got to step in. It's other people waiting for you to step into your purpose. God called you to be this light to shine into the rooms, and you're not stepping into the rooms. You're robbing someone else of that light. You're robbing someone else of your ideas. Once you kind of release the pressure or the weight of wanting to do life by yourself and allowing God to help you do life, life gets more enjoyable. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I would never sit here and lie to you. Baby, you gonna be depressed. Gonna be some days that are harder than others, and nights might be long, okay? But in all that you do, it's very important that you just lean into God, whatever God means to you. If God means being mindful, lean into that. When God tells you to move, you move. When God tells you to sit still, you sit still. If God is calling you to create, you create. A part of isolation is learning how to trust. Trust the process because you have no choice. It's just you. You ain't got nobody. I remember feeling so bad when I first went into isolation because I couldn't tell you what was going on, why I was feeling this way, like why I was all of a sudden turning my back on people that I was close with, all of a sudden not really wanting to be in connection with these people. Like I couldn't understand why. I felt crazy, angry, alone. I felt like my life was crashing around me, and it was very frustrating because I had prayed for this. Like I prayed for God to put me where it is that I need to be. And I'm just like, why is this happening? I felt so bad. But as I have been mending relationships and like getting back in contact with people that I may have walked away from, pre-isolation period, I found out the people that was supposed to be in my life didn't hold nothing against me. Like it was very much conversations of, girl, like you over here apologizing to me. Are you okay? Like, are you good? I thought that you was going through something. And I knew that God was showing me like my soul tribe, my community, the people that were supposed to be around me. Because, when people have your best interest at heart, when people really love you, not when people are using you, but when people really love you, they'll okay with you kind of stepping to the side to get yourself together. You feel they already want you to be the best version of yourself. But if you step away from a person that was using you or that had ulterior motives, they're going to get upset. They're going to take it personally that you were providing them with something. And I'm not saying that this is an excuse for anybody to like just drop relationships and to not be communicative with the people around them about the things that they're going through. But I'm just saying to watch how people react to you wanting to become a better version of yourself. That's what I will say. It's going to come out in the wash anyway, baby. But the first step to trusting your intuition is to open your eyes and trust what it is that you're seeing. Okay. What happens with friendships when you're called into isolation also is that if you know, you know, right? I was singing this the other day, like if God be the source, then I am the plug talking. So let the plug talk real quick. I can always tell when, a person is being pulled into isolation because those friendships, and I mean, it could be lasting friendships. I'm talking about people that you have known for years, and then something in you is just rubbing you the wrong way. Something in you is just telling you that these people is not for you. Something in you is just making you feel like this is not where I'm supposed to be. And a lot of times, when you're used to abandoning yourself for the sake of other people, being a people pleaser, or living your life for other people, it'll be hard for you to sever those ties. And in my experience, God will make it very easy to do so. Like, God will almost push these people to push you to your limit so that way you can get out of there. They cannot go with you where I'm trying to take you. I need you to let them go. Let that relationship go. Let them friends go. If it's family, let them family members go. I need it just to be me and you. If you have a friend or someone that sticks to you and with you through your isolation, pay attention to them. Your A1 day ones. I'm telling you, because not a lot of people make it through isolation. Most people, in my experience, I've learned that people will take your isolation personally, and then you'll end up being the bad guy because you had to choose yourself. But if me choosing myself caused you to dislike me, then we were never cool to begin with. You learn grace. You learn peace. You feel me? You learn trust, and in the process, you learn self-love. You learn self-worth. I found my voice in isolation, and although scary, it was something that God first started pushing me. It was like, all right, this is what I really want you to use. Like, I know you good at this. She is good at a lot of things, but this is what I want you to do. This is how you're going to help me. And the things that God has taken away from you, God is making room for the things that you're going to need for your next season. You have to make room for God to be able to make room for the things that you're going to need. You feel me? God always has a bigger plan, and it's always more than what you can ever imagine for yourself, because a lot of the times our wants and our needs and our desires are based and rooted in ego, and they're usually based and rooted in how we want society to see us. But God is trying to show you all of the things that you're worthy of, but you have to open your eyes and you have to allow God in and allow God to take the wheel. Like, you do it. I've been doing it by myself this whole time. I'm not getting anywhere. This deep unhappiness. I don't know what really makes me happy. Cool. You do it now. And then God is going to be like, all right, well, I need me and you time. I need some one-on-one time. Anybody that feels like they are stepping into their season of isolation and you're a little bit unsure about why things are happening or why you should go into isolation, trust and believe it is for your good. I'm telling you, if you have been praying and asking God to make a move in your life and then you feel called to just like let everything go, have faith. Be mindful of trying to run away from the isolation. And because isolation is where you're supposed to be, anything that you run into is going to be a reflection of where you're not supposed to be. And then you'll find yourself repeating cycles. You'll find that, you'll run away from isolation into a relationship, to a friendship. And then in that, those people will reflect back to you the things God wants to heal you from. Do not run away from the isolation. Lean in. God is going to provide everything that you will need for isolation. If you need to take a break off of social media, do that. If you want to fast, do that. If you feel called to pray and to move your body, do that. If you feel called to be still, do that. But at the end of the day, in the morning, in the night, acknowledge God, speak to God, ask God what it is that you need to be doing, and just like give yourself the space to do so. Like, really just like let go. I know that's easier said than done for some people. I definitely used to be that person. But again, that is another video, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you're in your isolation season, love, I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you encouragement. You got this. And I cannot wait to see who you end up being at the end of it, because I know it's going to be amazing. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.